Here we are, week 6, coming straight up, starting tomorrow. Welcome to Razor Sharp Picks. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate every single one of you who either come in during the live stream and hang out for a little bit. I know it's late on a Wednesday night, a school night, a work night. I get all that. Or you watch this video later on. No matter what you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button as you watch, like this video, and leave a comment, whether it be in the live chat or it be after the video. Let me know who you're picking to win these games this weekend, week 6. We already had Cameron come in, give his picks. His picks for week 6 are the Buffalo Bills winning on Sunday Night Football. We'll get to that game towards the end, though, because it is Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs winning on Thursday Night Football. I'm pretty sure we're all on that train. The Ravens, Panthers, Saints, Falcons, Jags, Bengals, Vikings, 49ers, Raiders, Bucks, Rams, Eagles, and Cowboys. Those are the teams he has winning this weekend. Some of those I agree with, some of those not so much. Or as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, right? Not so fast. We got some upsets coming here this week. We got maybe some surprises, some teams covering the spread. Speaking of covering the spread, guys, look down at the bottom. Look down at the ticker right down here, guys. We made a great comeback in weeks 4 and week 5. Week 5 going 9-4-1 against the spread, 9-5 straight up, making our against the spread record 39-36-3, just barely still in the red, negative 0.15 units. So we're getting there, and I hope to be in the black at the end of this week. Straight up 47-31. We're going to take it. It's not where we wanted it to be after week 5, but we're going to take it. I have some goals for myself as far as records go, and we're not hitting those yet. So we need to do better. I need to do better. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. What's up with you? Just get into my razor sharp picks again. A little bit of a hot streak. Week 4, we actually won double digits. We won double-digit games against the spread. I think we went 10-5 that week, something like that. A very good week last week. We went 9-4-1, had that one tie. I'm okay with that. Listen, if I can go 9-4-1 every single week, that would be just fine by me. We do have 2 teams on a bye this week, and that's the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both those teams, meddling along. The Packers come off a disappointing loss on Monday night. Pittsburgh, a big divisional win against the Ravens. So they're both on a bye this week. It means we have 15 games on the schedule starting with tomorrow night. And Daniel, while you're here, let me know your picks as well. Who do you got? So we start off with the Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Now listen, we also happened on Sunday to Taylor Swift's new boy toy, right? We also what happened to Travis Kelce, came down on that ankle, looked a little rough. Now, he did come back later, score the touchdown, looked a lot better. But here we are on a short week. How is it feeling? What is he going to look like coming into Thursday? And listen, if he wasn't going to play, this game would obviously be a lot closer, right? And I think the spread would reflect that. But he is playing. This Chiefs team beginning to roll on all cylinders, right? Only that one loss earlier in the season. Looks like the receivers began to catch it. It was week 1, actually. The receivers began to catch the ball a little bit. Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things, right? He has this team playing really well, and that's why I think the Chiefs win this game. I know it's a divisional game, and normally with these divisional games, I would say it's going to be tight, but man, this Broncos team's looking kind of rough. Give me the Chiefs to win this game. Give me the Chiefs to cover that 10.5-point spread. Moving to Sunday, another international matchup with the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. Hopefully there are no serious injuries. We've had to deal with that. Listen, as Bills fans, we just recently dealt with that. We do not want to deal with that again, no matter what the team. You don't want to see injuries in any matchup, especially when it's overseas. You don't want anything bad to happen. You just don't. Now, both these teams coming into this game, the Ravens, a disappointing loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, right? Big divisional loss. I think they're looking for a bounce-back week this week. The Titans, what we have on this Derrick Henry-led Titans team, we're just not sure. They're looking to bounce back as well a little bit this week. I think the Ravens are going to win this match. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something, guys. I have these things all figured out, right? Right here. right here. The Titans 4-point underdogs in this matchup. I have the Ravens winning this matchup. I have the Titans covering a 4-point spread, though. I don't think either of these teams really explosive enough to put up points. We've seen the Ravens get close to inside the red zone, stall out late in drives, have to rely a lot on Justin Tucker, which, if you're going to have to rely on a kicker, that's the one you want to rely on. But the Baltimore Ravens win this game. The Tennessee Titans do cover that 4-point spread. That's my prediction. Again, let me know in the comment section what you think. Moving to Atlanta for the 1 o'clock games. 1 o'clock games after the London game, the Thursday night game, comes the 1 o'clock games. And we start with the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Commanders. The Falcons, 2.5-point favorites in this one. And again, this is kind of like the London game. You just really don't know what you're getting out of either of these two teams. There's look back and forth a little bit. The Commanders have had some rough games as of late. Last week they lose to the Bengals. They don't even put up really much of a fight, in my opinion. Previous weeks to that, they got crushed by our Bills. So are the Commanders kind of come back down to earth? Remember week 1, I remember they were favored against Arizona, and I said, I just can't trust this Washington Commanders team, and I still really can't. As far as the Falcons go, running team, Bijan Robinson just really has to start playing better, right? Just really has to start carrying the load for this Falcons team. In Atlanta, give me the Falcons to win this game. Give me the Falcons to cover a 2.5-point spread. But this is a tough one for me, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Washington Commanders win this one. But give me the Falcons here covering a 2.5-point spread. Then you go to what many believe, including myself, the best team currently in the NFL. The best team currently in the NFL. And I'm not talking about the Cleveland Browns. I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers. A huge win on Sunday night against them Dallas Cowboys. America's team just got whooped. America's team just got whooped. And San Fran didn't show any signs of slowing down. And with the talent on that roster, I think this is very much a Super Bowl contending team. I know a lot of people talk about the Brock Purdy MVP conversation now, and maybe that's something you got to start considering because he looks legitimate. He looks like again, people talking about his arm strength not being what other quarterbacks are. Who cares? If he's finding open receivers, there's the argument that anyone would win in this system while anyone's not playing. Brock Purdy's playing. So maybe anyone would win MVP or put up MVP statistics in this offense, but he's actually doing it. We don't live in a world of what ifs or maybes or they coulds. No, we have a guy who's in there who's actually doing his job. He's doing his job. And not only is he doing his job, he's doing his job at a very, very high level. So I think that the San Francisco team is not being blown out of proportion. I think that this team is the best team in the NFL. Going on the road, however, to play this Cleveland Browns team, a Cleveland Browns team coming off a bye week, having a little extra time to prepare for the San Francisco 49ers. 6.5 points is a lot. That's a lot of points. I know San Fran's been blowing teams out of the water. I just don't see that continuing for a long stretch of games here. I think the 49ers, again, very good team. Christian McCaffrey, I think he's had, 6 or 7 games. No, I think it's double digits games in a row with a touchdown, 12 or 13 games in a row with a touchdown. I think this team is very talented. I think they get the win in Cleveland, but 6.5 points is a lot, especially for a team that's been home back-to-back weeks, now traveling to the East Coast. We all know about the West Coast to East Coast time differential and how that factors into some of these spreads, some of these games. They really factor into these things. We see all the time what happens when teams go to London, including our Buffalo Bills last week. But it happens when West Coast teams come east. It's just a little bit of a jet lag, a little bit of a rough time getting started. And so for that reason, give me the Browns to cover the spread. 49ers win. I'm not talking crazy, but give me the Browns to cover a 6.5-point spread. Then you move on to another very interesting game. Another very interesting game with a team that many people thought would be kind of at the bottom of the barrel again after having the first overall pick last season with the Houston Texans, but they're playing hard. They are playing hard. And then you go to the New Orleans Saints side. And, there's some injury issues that have happened over on the Saints side. Kamara's been in and out of the lineup. Injury to the quarterback. Just not sure if the Saints team can really get it going, right? This Texans team's playing hard. They're playing well. And I think that the Texans come into this matchup, kind of under the radar. I know they just lost to the Falcons last week, but I think this Texans team can, it was a 2-point game against the Falcons last week. They're keeping games close. I think they come up with a few wins here coming up over the next few weeks. Give me, and the Saints just blowing away the Patriots last week, just blowing them away, right? The Saints who beat the Patriots last week. Yeah, Saints beat the Patriots last week. I think that the Saints have a game where they come down a little bit. The Texans rise up to the occasion, especially in Houston. Give me the Texans, even though they're underdogs in this one at home. Give me the Texans to win this game, beating a 1.5-point spread. Going to the hottest, maybe AFC team in the league right now, in the Miami Dolphins. We all know what their offensive production has done. First 5 weeks of the season, they put more offensive yardage than any team in NFL history. I think that's very impressive. You look at this team as far as the numbers that they've put up. Tua Tagovailoa, getting him to be able to get rid of the ball quickly so he's not taking as many big hits. We did see him struggling against the Buffalo Bills a few weeks ago, but this isn't the Buffalo Bills. They're not playing against the Buffalo Bills. They're playing against the Carolina Panthers, who, again, are going to be out without C.J. Stroud, I believe. I believe he's out for this game, relying on their backup. But, guys, it really doesn't matter. To be honest, it really doesn't matter because this Miami Dolphins team can put up points in bunches. It doesn't matter. So I like the Dolphins to win this game. And I think the Dolphins are that team that's going to, even though they didn't go for the record when they put up 70, I understand that they're not going to be afraid to put up points, right? They're going to keep putting up points because we've seen their backups put up points. Now, they are without their star rookie running back. Unfortunate there. But I think this team has enough talent on their offensive side of the ball to put points even without him on the lineup. Give me the Dolphins to win this game. Give me the Dolphins to cover at 13.5-point spread. Now, this is a game that interests me a whole lot, and this is probably my favorite 1 o'clock game on the slate of games for Sunday. The Seahawks go into Cincinnati and play the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals 3-point favorites. Bengals coming off a big win last week, kind of trying to get themselves back into that AFC North conversation, which so many people expect them to be in. And to be honest, we're all kind of a little surprised by this slow start. Joe Burrow, high ankle sprain before the preseason started, and he's still struggling with it. At least it seemed up until last week. Now, last week, this offense really got rolling. It looked really good. But against the Rams, week 3, I think it was, against the Rams, they had signs that this offense was coming back. And then week 4, bam, shut the door, right? So now week 5, they looked really good again. Is that going to be something that continues now, or are they going to struggle against a very good Seattle team? A very good Seattle team who, again, is also coming off a bye week. So I look at this game and I'm like, why are we just all of a sudden on the Bengals? And I don't get it. I think that Geno Smith, I think this Seahawks team's looking really good. I could see the Seahawks team maybe being the second best team or the third best team in the NFC right now. That's how good I think this team is. And I just don't think a lot of people understand how good the Seattle team is right now because of a slow start, right? They lose to the Rams week 1, and everyone expected them to win that game. But since then, they beat the Lions. They've won a few good games here. I think that the Seahawks are a better team than what we're thinking they are. And I think the Seahawks make the Bengals offense struggle again and make us reconsider what we've seen from Joe Burrow so far this season as to whether or not he's fully recovered from that injury. So give me the Seahawks as 3-point underdogs to go into Cincinnati. Now, I know what I said when I'm talking about the 49ers, the West Coast teams coming east, but remember, Seattle had a bye week. So they've had more time to prepare. They could have traveled a little bit earlier, more time to get acclimated. If you have a bye week, you can go on Monday. Go to the East Coast on Monday instead of waiting until Tuesday or Wednesday Gives you a little bit more time to get acclimated. Give me the Seahawks to win this game. The Seahawks beat that 3-point spread. Moving on to a divisional matchup in Jacksonville. Jaguars coming back from London after maybe figuring stuff out. Went 2-0 in London, and maybe they figured out some things that they could really use now that they're back in the States. Not the back, because when they were in the States before they went to London a few weeks ago, they didn't look like much, right? They didn't look like much. They looked like a beatable team. These last 2 weeks in London, though, they've looked pretty good. So this Jags team comes in as 4-point favorites against division rival Indianapolis Colts. I think the Jags have figured something out. We heard about Richardson, him being out put on IR for a few weeks. So that means Gardner Minshew is going to be at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Is this a Minshew comeback game? We all know the magic Minshew mania that went on when he was with Jacksonville. Now, does he come back and it's kind of like a revenge game for Gardner Minshew? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I don't think that he's gotten much better as a quarterback. In fact, I think in that since he's left Jacksonville, he's gotten a lot worse as a quarterback. I mean, by a lot, I mean, he's still probably one of the 64 best quarterbacks in the NFL, but he is definitely a backup in the NFL. And I think his Jacksonville defense could take advantage of that. I think Josh Allen might have a big day here. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover a 4-point spread. Then we got the Vikings, the last 1 o'clock game, another divisional matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Bears. The Bears coming off a Thursday night victory last week, their first victory in 14 games. So now that they got the taste of victory, are they going to win a little bit more now? Not just the Fields might feel a little more comfortable, might be getting some confidence. Are they going to be more competitive in the NFL? This Vikings team still struggling at times, trying to figure things out. We know that this Vikings team went 11-0 last year, 11-0 in one score contests. They're not having the same type of luck this year so far, however. They're not having that same type of success so far this year. Last week, losing a tough game to a really good Kansas City Chiefs team. So there's nothing to be ashamed of there. But the Vikings team, if they plan on making the playoffs, have to start winning and have to start winning soon, right? And often. And I think it starts this week against the Bears. Give me the Vikings. Give me Kirk Cousins. Give me this really good offense. Now, it might be without Justin Jefferson, or at least without 100% Justin Jefferson. So how will that affect things? I don't know how that will play out. But I still think even without Justin Jefferson, this Chicago Bears team just doesn't have what it takes to match up against the Minnesota Vikings. I like what Addison's done in his rookie season so far. Give me the Vikings to win this game. Vikings cover a 3-point spread. Then we go to the 4 o'clock games. The 4 o'clock games, 4 of them in the 4 o'clock hour. And to be honest, there's 2 of them that I'm really looking forward to. There's 2 of these games that I'm really looking forward to. This one, not one of them. Now, this one might be a close game. This one might be a fun one to watch. Remember last year's game between the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders? Did Jacoby Myers throw it back to at last play of the game? It's a tie game, and Jacoby's trying to do like a lateral to end the game to, I don't know, potentially get in the end zone. I don't know what he was thinking. In fact, no one to this day knows what he was thinking. But there's the Las Vegas Raiders defense. They pick it up. They run over Mac Jones, and they score a touchdown. So just last year, this game ended on the last play of the game. So I expect another tight one here. Now, listen, we all know that Bill Belichick suffered his worst home loss 2 weeks ago as a head coach, or maybe his worst loss ever as a head coach. We all know that he suffered his worst loss maybe last week as a head coach. We know that things have happened over the past couple of weeks for Bill Belichick, but I think that for him, enough is enough. It's time to do what New England can do on defense to maybe create some turnovers, create some short fields for this really lackluster New England Patriots offense. We know that they're saying that they're sticking with Mac Jones. I don't know why. Maybe because they know what they got in the back and they just don't trust it. I don't know. But I think this Patriots defense can create turnovers. Josh Jacobs, not that running back they was last season, right? Still a very good running back, still very capable. But against this Patriots defense, who's gotten kind of torn up the past couple weeks, I expect a big bounce back game. Big bounce back game for the Patriots. Now, I think I might have said it last week too. Not sure. But give me the Patriots to win this one on the road. That means I have the Patriots upsetting the Las Vegas Raiders and winning it straight up. So give me the Patriots to win. Give me the Patriots to beat that 3-point spread. One of the 4 o'clock games I'm really interested in is this one. The Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, a huge matchup in the NFC. Could be a huge matchup when we talk about tiebreakers potentially down the road come playoff time. Not sure. We don't want to look too far ahead. This Lions team has looked pretty good throughout most of the season. Other than that tough loss week 2 against Seattle, this Lions team has looked really good, right? Tampa Bay, hit and miss. They've been hit and miss this season. Not sure what to expect out of them. The running attack really isn't what we thought it would be possibly at the beginning of the season. But they're still sitting up there towards the top of the NFC South. So with that being said, I'm really interested to see if this Tampa Bay team at home is for real and could put up a good fight or maybe even win against a really good opponent. And that's what they have here. They have a really good opponent in the Detroit Lions. However, I think that this Lions team, just a little too much. Just a little too much for them. This Lions offense is looking good at times. I think that you look at Jared Goff playing really well over the past season and a half or so. And it surprised a lot of people. I'm one of them. Surprised a lot of people. I think this Lions team continues their ascension to prove that they are the team to beat in the NFC North. Now they beat the Packers last week. Might be a spot for a letdown game, but I don't see that here. I see the Lions coming away with a victory in Tampa. However, I do see the Buccaneers keeping this game close. Maybe even having a lead in the fourth quarter. Give me the Lions to win this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover that 3-point spread. Another divisional matchup in the 4 o'clock hour. I should say the first one, the 4 o'clock hour. We had a couple at the 1 o'clock slate of games. But at the 4 o'clock hour, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Rams, at the Los Angeles Rams. And I know this Cardinals team, if you look at how they've done against the spread so far this season, other than last week, they've done really well. This team has been playing better than what a lot of people have thought they would. The Rams come into this game as 7-point favorites. We all know that divisional games can be close, and I would expect nothing less in this game. Listen, I think that this Cardinals team is playing really hard, and I think that they've had a lead in all but one game so far this season, and that was against the 49ers. I believe that to be true. Maybe not after last week. I forget if they had the lead all in that game last week. I don't think so against the Eagles. But I think that they are proving that they are a decent team. Not a good team, not a great team. I think they're proving that they play hard, and that there's something to be said just for that, and that they're really not – in most of these games, they're not shooting themselves in their foot. They're just lacking when it comes to talent at certain positions, mostly all of them. That's one of the reasons why we thought the Cardinals would have the number 1 overall pick when the season came to an end. The Rams, on the other hand, I think they're sitting at 2-3 right now. They're trying to get back to 500, get back into that playoff conversation, just like the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to be one of these teams sitting maybe 8-8. 9-7, looking for that last win come week 18 to get them into the playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting how that all plays out. But I think in this game, the Rams win the game. But again, the Cardinals have done a good job a lot this season of keeping games close, staying in games, and making it competitive. And I think they do that here. Rams win the game. The Cardinals cover that 7-point spread. Then you go to New York/New Jersey, where the New York/New Jersey Jets play against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles still undefeated. In fact, the Eagles and Niners, the only 2 undefeated teams left. Not a single undefeated team left in the AFC. But we're not talking about them right now. We're talking about this Eagles team, who really did a great job last week. Looked really impressive. I think it was against the Cardinals, who we recently just spoke about, right? The Rams. I'm sorry, the Rams, who we just recently spoke about. They looked really good last week. But this Jets defense at home can be pretty formidable. pretty formidable. And listen, I think that Jalen Hurts hasn't looked still to me up to that level of last season, right? He hasn't looked like he's been at MVP level. He's just not there. He just doesn't feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, this Jets team is going to make you feel really uncomfortable. Jets coming off an upset win against Denver last week. We called it right here on hashtag sports on Razor Sharp Picks. So happy about that pick. Always have to get the upsets right, right? Get the upsets right. You get a little extra money because you betting on the plus side of things. Really like to get the upsets right. I don't have them winning this matchup, guys. I'm not bold enough to call this upset. You look at a 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles team coming into New Jersey. I think this Jets team, this Jets defense especially is great. I think the offense is getting better. I think Zach Wilson's getting more comfortable, and I think that could be very dangerous down the line. And by very dangerous, I mean a formidable offense, which is what you want. Look at this running attack, Breece Hall. You know what they got in the running attack. They beat us pretty bad week 1 in the running game. I like the Eagles to win this matchup, but I like the Jets to keep it close. 1-score game, definitely. And by the way, I need to get off here and go to here, right? I like the Jets to keep this game close all game long. I think they'll be hounding Jalen Hurts, forcing some turnovers on defense, putting up some easy points because they'll get the ball on the plus side of the field. I think all that's going to be true. But I still like the Philadelphia Eagles to come out of this one with that victory. I think that veteran team just going to find a way to win here. I think that's what they're going to do. But I'm very interested in this game. Very interested in the Lions-Bucks game when it comes to the 4:00 hour or 4:25 to see who comes out on top. But 2 really good games there. You can also look at the Cardinals-Rams game as a divisional game. And again, the Cardinals playing rough. I think this 4:00 Sunday game is going to be very interesting leading up to Sunday Night Football. Sunday night, where our Buffalo Bills go up against the New York, New Jersey Giants. The New York, New Jersey Giants go to Buffalo. They figure out what it's like to play in New York, playing against our Buffalo Bills. The Bills 2 touchdown favorites, huge favorites, even after a rough week last week in London. We come home and the NFL Vegas pundits say we take care of business. And listen, I'm on that train too. The Buffalo Bills take care of business. But let's not forget who we're going up against. We're not just going up against the Giants. Who's their head coach? Former Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. Took me a minute. Almost forgot. I was like, Brian Dorsey, that doesn't sound right. No, Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll will know what this Giants team needs to do against Josh Allen. Remember, he was with Josh Allen from the beginning, from 2018 up until last season when the Giants took him as their head coach. I think that the Giants are able to create some turnovers for that reason and put up some points that way. I just don't know if the Giants offense can put up as many points as going to be needed to contend with this Buffalo Bills team. I think the Bills win this game, maybe even double digits, maybe 10, 11 points, but 14 is an awful lot. 14 is an awful lot when you're going up against a team that has your former offensive coordinator. You're going up against a team after your comeback from London. You're kind of facing a lot of adversity still here in this one after a few really big injuries on defense. So I think the Bills win this one, but I don't think it's going to be by 2 touchdowns, maybe a touchdown, maybe. But this game could be a lot closer than what people think. I still think, though, the Bills pull it out. Then you go to Monday Night Football for what I think is going to be a fun game to watch. The Dallas Cowboys, after just getting whooped on Sunday Night Football, now go on the road, or stay on the road, I should say, stay out west to play the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers 2-point underdogs in this matchup. The Chargers coming off a bye last week, so the Chargers are going to be well rested, ready to go against this Cowboys team. And listen, there's a big part of me that wants to take the Chargers here. There's a big part of me as a Bills fan that still has a bad taste in the mouth every time you think about the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, I'll admit it. That's the only reason why, one of the only reasons why we don't like them, right? It's because they whooped us twice in the Super Bowl. But what have I always told you? I've always told you when it comes to me and my favorite teams. I like the Buffalo Bills and any team that potentially could help the Buffalo Bills. And let's be honest, NFC versus AFC, as Bills fans, we should be cheering for the NFC every single time. Every time. But when you're betting against the spread, it shouldn't be who you cheer for. It should be what looks right. What looks right here. And the Cowboys are going to look for a get-right game after what happened last week. And they look at this Chargers team, a Chargers team that's had a really tough time so far this season. They've shot themselves in the foot time after time again and just unable to. They even shot themselves in the foot when they played the Vikings, for crying out loud. Just the Vikings did it worse. The Vikings did it worse. I think the Cowboys go into LA. And we also know that their fan base doesn't show up either. So this might be pretty much a home game for the Cowboys. Might pretty much be a home game for the Cowboys. This might be their 9th or 10th home game of the season. Who knows? Who knows? Giving the Cowboys to win this game. Cowboys cover the spread. I think the Cowboys will look really good in this one, although I expect two high-powered offenses. We have seen Dallas's defense. They didn't do it last week, but we've seen Dallas's defense able to stymie a few really good offenses. Can they do it in this matchup? I'd probably pick the over, but we'll get to that in, come Sunday or Monday morning. Also, when talking about over-unders, quick betting advice, guys, there are going to be a few games this weekend where the wind conditions are over 10 miles per hour. Over 10 miles per hour. And I know you're thinking that doesn't seem like much. There have been, I think, 4 times this season, just last week. I'm trying to remember this stat. But yeah, and any game where it's above 10 miles per hour won all 3 or 4 of those games. If you go back to the last 14 or 15 games where the wind conditions have been over 10 miles an hour, the under has covered. So look at those games, watch those games closely. If you're looking to make a few extra bucks this weekend, that's where I would go. In fact, that's probably where I am going to go on top of these bets that I'm going to make. I'm going to bet some unders as well just to see how we do. But that's it for me. That's it for Razor Sharp Picks straight up. For week 6, we got the Chiefs, Ravens, Falcons, 49ers, Texans, Dolphins, Seahawks, Jags, Vikings, Patriots, Lions, Rams, Eagles, Bills, Cowboys. Against the spread, we got the Chiefs, Titans, Falcons, Browns, Texans, Dolphins, Seahawks, Jags, Vikings, Patriots, Bucks, Cardinals, Jets, Giants, and Cowboys. I hope you guys make a lot of money this weekend and the rest of the season, and hopefully you're doing it because you're watching Razor Sharp Picks and we're all making a good bit of money together. I hope you enjoy week 6. Don't forget to join me Sunday night. You don't want to listen to Chris Collinsworth. Nobody does. So turn on the game, turn it on mute, and hang out right here on Hashtag Sports while I give you live play-by-play reaction to the game between the New York, New Jersey Giants and our Buffalo Bills. I'll see you then. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.